Hi, everybody. Welcome to our office hours. This 30 minutes is really designated for you to ask any questions about the Ethical Charter Implementation Program. To kick things off, my name is Madeline Edlin. I work with the Equitable Food Initiative, or EFI. And EFI serves as a supporting organization behind ESIP, managing its technical platform, and convening the advisory group. I also have with me Deanna Monroe, who is our technical product manager with EFI and is our ESIP technical expert who will be responding to your questions today. I also have on my team Alexander Martinez, who runs all of our tech and our slides and our questions. So if you have anything there, she'll be your go-to person. So, Deanna, you're our responder today. Thanks for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Thanks everyone for joining today.
Yay. All right, everybody, here's the drill. Any questions you have, put them in the chat. You can also unmute yourself and take yourself off camera if you wish, and ask your questions, raise your hand, however you want to do it. This is really informal. It's a small group, so we want to get at anything that has to do with ESIP, whether it's Engagement 2.0, how to get in the system, what is this thing, etc. So pop those questions in as they come to you, unmute yourself, and let's kick things off. All right, Dee, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. Number one, how does my grower earn the gold star?
Great question. So, growers earn their gold stars the same way they earn them in Engagement 1.0. Growers have to hold one of those 16 benchmark certifications. If the grower wants to receive that waived $200 fee, you need to reach out to support at ethicalcharterprogram.org, and we'll go ahead and waive that fee. Then that grower user can enter in that certification data in two ways. We've added a question directly into the assessment pillar in Grower Lab. That question is towards the end. It's after the 54 assessment questions that are linked to the ethical charter, and it prompts the user to enter in the the certification number and the expiration date, and then the grower will receive the gold star. Another way that the grower can receive the gold star by entering in that information is going to the benchmark pillar. So going up to the top right of the Grower Lab page on the home page, clicking benchmark, and then clicking learn how to earn your stars. That'll bring you to the page that will tell you how to earn all of your stars. The first star is certification, and the system will prompt you to also enter in that certification number, that expiration date, and then that grower will have that gold center star.
Awesome. And just for clarification, when you say engagement 1.0 versus where we are now, can you clarify on that?
Yeah, so Engagement 2.0 launched this July 14th. So we updated how the growers earn their engagement stars, and we updated some of the user interaction and the user interface in the platform to make the experience a little more seamless. We integrated some geographic and some commodity questions as well. It's an overall upgrade to the user experience, and we've made the grower stars and how you earn them a little more rigorous.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks for that clarification. All right, number two, you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. I can't find my invite to lab. How do I log in? Hopefully you know this one.
I'd say the easiest way is just to reach out to support. Again, that's support at ethicalcharterprogram.org, because those invites do time out. So just reach out to us. Our support team will go ahead and just resend that invite, or we'll give you instructions on how to log in and reset your password if need be.
Great. And Alexander did put that email address in the chat. I was supposed to put the email on this slide and I forgot. So it's in the chat, the support email that Deanna keeps referencing. All right. So once they're in, how do I add users to my account?
Yeah, so for both supplier and grower users, the top right of the screen, there's a little circle person icon. Click on that icon. The first option is company. Once you're on that company page, scroll down to about the middle of the page. You'll see a green button that says add users. That's how you add the user, by adding their email address. that will send them an email to register and join your either grower account or your supplier account. Easy as that.
Great. Yeah. And again, if you need clarifying questions as we go through, feel free to unmute yourself. Also, if you need a moment to log into your lab platform and follow along as Deanna speaks, feel free to do that too. We're here to troubleshoot in real time. All right. Looks like we got another. Ooh, this is a good one. How do I get copies of my receipt?
Great question. Again, reach out to support at ethicalcharterprogram.org. We understand that staff changes and there's a lot of things that can go on internally in your organization. So the easiest thing for you to do is just to reach out to us directly and then provide the email address that you want that receipt sent to, and then we can just send that out to you directly.
Great. All right. Sorry, too many screens, too many questions. All right. How do I add more growers to my account?
Great question. So as a supplier, your main landing page is your dashboard. And if you need to navigate back to that dashboard at the top left where it says ESIP Supplier Lab, just click on that. That'll bring you to your supplier dashboard. On the top right of that page, there's a big green button that says invite more growers. And you want to provide the grower email address. And then that will again send an email directly to that grower and letting them know that your supplier company has invited them to join Grower Lab on your behalf. They'll register, they'll pay, or they'll reach out to support to waive that fee if they have one of those 16 benchmark certifications, and then they will automatically be attached to your supplier account.
Great. All right, here's one specifically about Engagement 2.0. How long does Engagement 2.0 last for?
Great question. So this is Engagement 2.0. So this is technically our first iteration. So in ESIP, our cycle goes from November to November. So Engagement 1.0 was November 1, 2023 to October 31st, November 2024. And then Engagement 2.0 launched July 14th, 2025. So the idea is to do it on a yearly basis. So next year, Engagement 3.0 would launch July 14th, 2026. Is that clear?
Yeah, it's a year-long iteration, so you'll be good for a year, and then we will up that engagement threshold in July of 2026
Right.
next year, which
No,
should be 3.0. Yeah,
3.0. Yeah.
right. Okay. 95% of my growers have a SMETA or SMETA, I've heard it both ways, audit, and they received a gold star. Can I get a gold star if I have a SMETA audit too? I supply Costco and the other big five. Can I get a gold star in my other? Does that make sense to you, Dee?
Are they referring to themselves as a supplier or as a grower?
I'm not 100% sure. Manuel, feel free to unmute yourself and clarify or pop it into the chat. I want to be sure we address your question fully.
Yeah, I'm a supplier.
You're a supplier. Okay, great.
Yes.
Okay. So the supplier gold star, the suppliers do not receive a gold star for having certification. So no, the gold star and the waive fee is only applicable to the growers.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Of course.
Great. 1 second. For new growers joining ESIP after July 14th, will they follow updated engagement 2.0 criteria or the previous version?
Great question. So if your grower is joining Grower Lab post July 14th, 2025, they will follow the engagement 2.0 criteria.
Okay. And we're in that zone now. So
And
1.0
we're there
is
now.
no longer in existence.
Exactly. Everyone should be following engagement 2.0 criteria at this point.
Great. Dee, this is off the wall. I just thought of this question because you manage our support system.
Mhm.
What what has been like the hardest or maybe the glitchiest part of 2.0? Is there like one sticky spot that everybody seems to come up against?
That's a great question. I think sometimes it's maybe just like the admin burden for our suppliers that have a large supply chain, having to go in and add those certifications to get that gold star again can be a bit of an admin burden. And we try to do our best to assist. If anyone on this call has issues with that, just reach out to us and we're happy to assist and add those gold stars on your behalf because we understand it can be a bit of a hassle. You did that already and now it went away and you have to do it again. Thankfully, other than that, we haven't had too many glitches or too many issues thus far, but I'd say that just the admin burden is always,
Mm-hmm.
always an issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I just had one. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. Will retailers be able to see our updated engagement profiles right away?
No, they won't. And that's a really good question. So right now, the buyer dashboard is frozen. So the buyers are seeing engagement 1.0 engagement profiles, supplier engagement profiles. The buyer dashboard is going to be unfrozen September 30th. So all of the hard work that you suppliers are doing and your growers are doing, the buyers will be able to see that post September 30th. But that doesn't mean that you have to rush, rush, rush to get everything done. You have the whole year until Engagement 3.0 comes out to get all that work done. And the buyers are totally aware of that. They know that it takes time, especially again, if you have a large supply chain or if you have growers that are really small or they're out in the middle of nowhere, Mexico, or the middle of nowhere, Michigan. I don't know. But the expectation is by September 30th, you and your growers are in the platform, you're paid, you're credibly engaged, you're working through the assessment, you're clicking through the resources, you've endorsed the ethical charter, you've supplied your supply chain number. It's not about compliance and completion, it's about actively engaging in the platform. That wasn't really the question, but I want to make sure I was full circle that the buyers aren't seeing the data now, but they will September 30th, and that's what they're going to be looking at, and that's what they're going to be expected.
So essentially right now, those working in lab, excuse me, are behind the scenes. Anything that they're doing is not being seen by the buyers on the buyer dashboard. The buyer dashboard is frozen with what was done before July 14th.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Here's another one. Did any of the learning content change?
Yes, not a ton, but I'd say like maybe 20% of the learning content did change. We updated some of the resources. And Madeline, you could probably speak a little bit to this, but we updated the responsible recruitment toolkit and some of the resources related to that. Because we didn't augment the core 54 questions in the assessment, there wasn't a lot in the resources that was changed outside of those toolkits that were added. And then there were some small tweaks to some language around like FLCs and things like that that you will see when you go through the assessment. But it wasn't a huge lift or a huge change in the resource links.
Yeah, and the content Deanna is referencing in the responsible recruitment is there's two added resources. One from Vierte with the recruitment cost calculator, the RCC, and we had a blog and a feature on that that I'm going to ask Alexandra to put in the chat to that link. And then also it was Stronger Together has a toolkit that was highlighted on the blog as well. So those are both linked within the platform. And then if you go to our blog, you'll see more of a highlight on those two tools. And you can dive a little bit deeper, get a little bit deeper there. Awesome. All right, keep them coming, y'all. We have a bit more time. Let's see. All right, here you go. Here's those questions or the blogs. Thank you, Alexandra. I'm giving you guys time. We have a rule at EFI. It's a 60-second rule of awkward silence, and I'm here to fill it until we get more questions. Deanna, here's another one that I came up with.
Okay.
And then we have another one after my question. What are some of those? You mentioned admin burden specifically around the gold star and how support can help with that. Like we can batch batch people in. Are there any other admin burdens that you've seen that eSIP support is really good at tackling in kind of that batch method?
Yeah, it's honestly it's all related to the getting the growers into the system. Again, with those suppliers that have those large supply chains, around adding the growers into the platform. If you have 5 or more growers that you need to invite, send us that list in an Excel with the contact information, and we're happy to do a bulk upload of those growers into the system and connect you as a supplier to them. And if you want to pay for them as well, we can also create a single invoice for you. You can pay on behalf of your growers, like those type of things that we can do as support on the back end to kind of reduce that admin burden.
Right. Yeah. And our support team is so strong. Whenever I email them, it's always like, hey, expect a response in like 24 to 48 hours. No, an hour later, I get a response. So like rely on them for all the things. All right, here we go. I'm going to answer this one from Catherine, and then Baha, I will get to your raised hand. So give me one moment. How do we know the feedback from the buyers related to engagement 2.0? How do we know the feedback from the buyers related to engagement 1.0? Do we need to contact them directly for this?
Absolutely. I would say EFI prefers, or yeah, EFI prefers not to be involved in the buyer-supplier relationship. Like that's not our role. If you want feedback about Engagement 1.0 or Engagement 2.0 or your participation in eSIP, we encourage you speaking directly to your buyers. We do have a relationship with the buyers and the merchants, but I don't think it's appropriate or it's our role to step in between those relationships. Madeline, would you?
Yeah, always bring those up with your retailers and your buyers. Yeah, not our business to get in between you and your buyers. We want that to be your seamless communication. We're just here to create the platform and hopefully make that seamless. That's our role.
And then I'll just add that if there are ever any questions, and it has happened, the buyers will reach out directly to us and we can kind of help them answer questions to help facilitate those conversations. But us facilitating those conversations or initiating them, I think, no, we wouldn't do that. It would be between you and your buyers.
Baha, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon. I work with a few growers or shippers, which are the folks that are packaging and also growing the product. And some of them, when I looked at their platform, a lot of them aren't paying for the grower side because I guess they were guessing the first payment that they made. I don't know what it was, like 1,200 or 1,600 on the supplier side, that they didn't need to pay that $200 fee for the grower side. I believe that's not true, right?
Right. So if they are a supplier and a grower, so they're vertically integrated, then they would have to pay the supplier and the grower fee, correct?
Okay.
Unless they have one of the benchmark certifications, and that's otherwise,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Of course.
All right, y'all. Really appreciate the participation and the questions coming in. I love to see it. This is fun.
Great questions. Really great questions.
Let's try to stump Deanna. Let's stump her.
I'll throw another question out there.
Yes, let's hear it.
Regarding like doing like internal audits or checks that's based on the charter. Do you guys provide like any type of templates where they're depending on the harvesters that they're utilizing to make sure that they're adhering by your standards by any chance?
I would check, Baha. I would check the resource. If there's a specific template that you're looking for that's related to one of the assessments, I would check the resource links in the platform to see, because we do link some templates in the resources, but as far as anything that's outside of the platform, I wouldn't have any templates. Would you know of any, Madeline, outside of the resource links within the platform?
Yeah, the resource links within the platform are going to be those free resources, and then you can always check the eSIP marketplace for anything that would probably be a paid service provider. But yeah, I think within the platform was your best bet for that.
Thank you. I'll check.
All right. Here's kind of a throwback question for you, Dee. Do my suppliers, this is, I'm assuming speaking from a grower's perspective, see how I respond to the self-assessment, especially in places where I'm struggling?
No, absolutely not. How you respond to the assessment is completely private to you. Not even EFI can see how you respond to the assessment. All of the assessment responses are aggregated across the supplier supply chain. So no one can see how you respond outside of your organization. So if your HR person and your marketing person have a login to your grower account, then they can see how you responded, but your supplier will never see how you respond to the assessment because we want you to answer credibly and honestly so you can use those resource links and go in 2 months and change your answer because you found a policy or you found a template and you've worked on that particular management system and improved over time. That's the point of the platform. So absolutely not. Those answers are not shared with anyone, suppliers, buyers, EFI, software developers, no one sees those answers.
Yeah. What do we say? It's a safe harbor.
It is. It's a safe space.
Safe space. Okay. Um, Here's one. Can you clarify what a grower is in ESIP? Thinking about my pack houses, FLC, and contract growers.
That is a really good question. And we defined it in the platform. And I'm just going to go to the platform so I can speak to that exactly. Let's see. So a grower, we define a grower as an employer. A grower is a grower can have a workforce and a pack house. A grower can have a workforce on the field. But if that workforce moves, then that would count as one grower. So if your workforce goes from the field to the pack house, you wouldn't have to have two growing operations in lab. That would count as one growing operation.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to anybody else, pipe up.
Please unmute yourself and let me know because I'm not finding my definition.
I'm using a service called Office.
All right. All right. A grower that can have relationship with more than a supplier only answers once, or do I need to answer it by each invited of their supplier? Julia, feel free to clarify and unmute yourself on this, or do you feel like you're good to go, Dee, on that question?
No, that's a really good question, and that's a pretty
Okay.
common question. So, a grower can and often is connected to multiple suppliers. They sell to multiple suppliers. So you only have to answer the assessment once. You only have to engage as a grower once, and then that engagement will flow up to as many suppliers that you're connected to. So you don't have to double the work if you're connected to five, or you don't have to triple or quadruple the work if you're connected to 3 or 4 suppliers. You only have to do that once, and then that information flows up to those suppliers.
Those up.
Mhm.
Thanks, Dee. All right, can you refresh us on how a grower can earn all 5 stars?
I can, and I would ask Alexandra to put the link to the website on how a grower earns stars.
Yes, that the link to how a grower earns stars page is totally updated with engagement 2.0 criteria. So if you land there, or if you land within the platform within lab, that's all updated. So just to clarify on my responsibility, which is keeping our website updated, you're good there, but keep going, Dee.
Of course. So that Center Gold Star, which I talked about, the grower earns that by having one of those 16 benchmark certifications. And then on the website, we have those listed out so you can see those. One of the outer green stars is earned by completing all of the assessment questions. And then there's some check boxes that you have to attest to saying that you have answered credibly. So answering the assessment questions and then certifying or attesting that you've answered credibly will earn the assessment star. The Learning Channel star, there are 2 check boxes that also you attest to saying that if you assess yourself as we are struggling or we are developing, that you plan on using the resources in the Learning Channel to strengthen those management systems. and also that you're willing to provide non-sensitive documentation on those management systems that you assess that you are performing well. That's the learning channel star. The advanced engagement star is also an attest to the user attesting that they've completed the assessment, they've engaged the entire platform in a way that they feel comfortable sharing with their supplier. So they have answered honestly, and they would be willing to share that with their suppliers and to their buyers. And then also, if their workforce was surveyed, that their answers in the platform would reflect what their workers would say, or what their workers, if surveyed, would reflect. And then lastly, the recruitment star are some checkboxes or a list of recruitment tools that are used. Madeline mentioned the Verite recruitment cost calculator, and then there's the Stronger Together Responsible Recruitment Toolkit. And then also if you use farm labor contractors, FLCs. So just attesting and listing if you use any of those tools. So those are the 4 outer green stars and then that center gold star. But that was a lot of words, but I would highly, highly suggest going to the website and reading and understanding for yourself, and then coming back with questions.
Awesome. Thanks, Dee. We have maybe time for one more question. If anybody wants to sneak 1 or 2 more in the chat or unmute, feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'll pop us over to the next slide, and I want to preview 2 upcoming webinars that we have next week. August is already August 6th, and we'll be doing Spanish office hours. So if you have growers or colleagues in your world that would benefit from an office hour situation like this, it will be fully in Spanish. Well, it will be translated. We'll have Deanna answering, and then we'll have translation. So register there with that QR code. And then we have October 1st. We'll be prepping for the global show, getting you guys equipped, your sales team, your marketing team equipped with everything you need to know about how to talk to your retailers and your customers about ESIP and your amazing, incredible engagement with ESIP Lab. So you can register for that there, and that one is October 1st at 10 a.m. PST, 1 p.m. EST, which is when we generally hold our webinars. I didn't see any other questions come in while I pitched those 2 things. So unless I see any other questions coming in, I think that's all we have for today. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And though we didn't stump Deanna today, we will try again another time. Hopefully see you again here soon on our little webinar platform, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.